here, and then we're about to go live.
Yeah, I'm serious right now. I'm speaking my heart on this record. Finally, I started seeing things as they were. All that you said was nothing but words. So I chopped it up to face the truth. Everything you did was all for you. What you mean? Don't take it personal. I gave up all of me and more. You said you would never leave, and you said you would never go, and you said you would always be there for me, for me, for me. Everybody's telling me just move on, but they don't know my love is strong, so strong. It's deeper than the eye can see. But what you really mean to me? What you mean to me? What you mean? Don't take it personal. I gave up all of me and more. But what you mean? Don't take it personal. I gave up all of me and more and more. You said you would never leave, and you said you would never go, and you said you would always be there for me, for me, for me. I never thought that I would have to let you go, but come to find out you were never mine. After all this time, so many years in my life, I come to find out you were never mine. I was holding on, didn't wanna let go. After all these years, you were my heart and soul. I found out I gotta let you go, 'cause I can't hold on, can't hold on. Baby, I'm still hurting. You said you would never leave, and you said you would never go, and you said you would always be there for me, for me, for me. What you mean? Don't take it personal. I gave up all of me and more. What you mean? Don't take it personal, baby, baby.
Yo, welcome, 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 welcome. Could somebody say welcome? Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Pam's World. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's another Sunday, another Sunday, another Sunday. Bless God for another Sunday, not just Sunday, for another day. Did somebody tell God thank you today? If you haven't, this is the perfect opportunity. You are alive and you are breathing. You got breath in your body. Everything might not be all well and good and peaches and cream, but listen, if you can breathe in and breathe out, we got something to thank him for. We got something to thank God for. So listen, with all of that being said, y'all, welcome to Pam's World. This may be your first time tuning in. And to all of those lovely people who tune in every Sunday, shout out to you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank y'all, because you didn't have to tune in. So we really do appreciate it.
Yes,
but like I said, for those who don't know, Pam's World, what is Pam's World all about? Yo, listen, we have a good time up here. We have a great time. You know, Pam, is this a Christian show? And I'll be the first to say, no, it's not a Christian show, because we pretty much talk about some of everything. But at the end of the day, will you get biblical principles? Absolutely, because that's the foundation upon which we stand, is the word of God, which is the truth. You know, you can't break it. You can't divide it. You can't make anything in that word come apart. I promise you, you can take a page out of it because you ripped it out, but that still does not delete anything that God has said. So with all of that being said, listen, thank y'all for weighing in. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody else to tell somebody else that Pam's World is on right now. And Phil, if you're watching, shout out to Phil. I just seen your name come across my phone. I can't pick up right now, sir. And so, you know, shout out to Phil. Lightfoot. I said Lighthouse. Jesus. Lighthouse. Lightfoot Phil. You already know what it is. Great trainer. Amazing dude. So shout out to him. Also, I just want to say again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. And to my right, you already know, for those who know and for those who don't know, J to the B on.
Hey, everybody. Yes. Hi.
Sports. You
hope
already
you had
know.
a wonderful Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you're happy about football being back. All those things.
Yes, y'all. Y'all already know. And if you don't know, for those who are weighing in, everybody else knows who watch us every Sunday, that our girl, we one woman down. We miss her. She here in spirit. Yes. Shout out to Pastor Didi, a.k.a. Dorothy Denise. Yes, and she's the real McCoy. You can check her out on Facebook if you want to look her up. You can check her out on IG, and you can check her out on Twitter. If you really want to know what Dorothy Denise is all about, check her out. Please,
you can
please,
go to her
please.
website.
Yes, come on.
Come
on, because
and there's an amazing book that can be found there for you to purchase.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's called The Hidden Affair. I know you've heard us speak about it, and you've heard her speak about it if you're a follower of the show from the beginning. But it's still an amazing book, and the audio book I know that she has spoken about that's going to be coming soon. So for those who don't like to read physical books, you'll be able to listen
to her. To her read it, and just listen.
It's going to add some fire.
If you don't know that, one thing about Dorothy Denise is that she can read a book. She can read a book. She was a teacher for how long? How many years?
20
years. Listen. All right. So with all of that being said, y'all, listen. She knows how to make it comical. She knows how to make you laugh, and she knows how to make those ears perk up, and you be like, "Did you hear what she just said?" So with all of that, please know that our girl is not here. Shout out to Pastor Didi. We love you. I'm looking forward to seeing your face real soon, but we know that you are on assignment, and we respect what people do, and especially when they're doing it for God.
Amen.
So everybody gets respect. It just goes to a whole nother level. You like, I'm doing this for, I'm not even going to come back that. All right, y'all. So listen. On Pam's World, for the newbies and for those who are the ones that stick by us, y'all already know what time it is. What time is it, y'all? Did you go to church?
Oh, yes, we did.
Today. Yo, listen. I actually had an amazing times with the babies today. Man, it was beautiful. We had an opportunity to talk about God's protection. And we came from the book of Acts, chapter 9. If you don't know the Bible, is the book of Acts. You know how to spell Acts, A-C-T-S, chapter 9. Listen, and it was about Saul before he became Paul, because everybody knows Paul, but before his name was Saul. And we just began to talk about how Saul was this dude, and, he was high rank, so Saul was he thought he was down for God. He thought he was rolling with God. He thought he was doing what he was supposed to be doing for God, and he was actually about that life of getting Christians and locking them up, putting them in jail, even watching some of them, get killed. And he was there, and he was actually on his way this time around, to go and to get these Christians and bring them to the chief priest and put them in prison. He ain't care if they was women, if they were men, if they was confessing professing that Jesus Christ was Lord, look, we locking y'all up. We gonna kill y'all. Whatever it is that happens, this is what we about. And he was on his way, right? So check it out. He was on his way. Dude was on his way to go on the road to Damascus, is what the Bible says. And as he was on the road, he heard a voice. Now, just imagine, ain't nobody there, but he hears this voice. And he says, yes. He said, okay, Lord. Yes, Lord. He said, who are you? And he said, I'm Jesus, the one who you are persecuting. Right? So then with all of that being said, this dude that was so tough and so bad, next thing you know, he gets knocked down off of his high horse. Right? He gets knocked down to the ground. Next thing you know, he gets up. Dude can't see. So he has to go into the city. 3 days. He ain't eat. He ain't drink. Nothing. So as all of this goes by, it was one that was sent by the Lord, because the Lord had spoken to this one dude to go. He said, go, and Saul is there, and I need for you to lay hands. And when he'll recover his sight. And he is like, yo, ain't he the dude that was prosecuting us and persecuting us and all of this stuff? Like, Jesus, like, hold up, like, you want me to? He said, go, because I'm going to use him, and he going to have to suffer some things. He going to go through some stuff for me. So he went as told. So act of obedience, but oh boy, right? So fast forward, with all of this happening, Saul, now his eyes are open. Scales, the Bible says that scales falls off of his eyes, and dude, when he gets up immediately, he begins to talk about Jesus. Now just imagine, old boy was down for the get down. He was taking jokers out. He didn't care. So this is how me and the kids was talking today, right? So with all of that being said, now the dudes that he used to ride with, the Jews that he was riding with, and he was the ringleader. Now they plotting to kill him, because they like, yo, this dude out here, can you imagine him in the synagogue? And next thing you know, they looking at him, they like, oh, he on our side. His old boy's like, yeah, there you go, the man with the master plan, here he come. And next thing you know, he start talking about that Jesus is real and that Jesus Christ is Lord. And so them dudes start plotting to get him. So this is the part of protection. When it says in the Bible that Saul sensed it, like he knew that these jokers was plotting against him. And so with that, to me, it's like, boom, it was like, I had to look at that for one to stop, because I said the only one that can give you insight on something is God. The only one that can give you insight, like, yo, jokers is plotting on you. They gonna get you. So what it is that it goes on to say in the Bible that they watched the city gate day and night, because they was plotting against Saul. They was waiting. Saul meaning Paul, because God changed his name to Paul. So they were plotting on him. But then it says that the disciples let him down in a basket on the city wall. And so they let him down on a basket at nighttime, and he got out of there. You know what I mean? And then that was the protection. And so with all of that, it's just like me and the kids and I began to just talk about like how God will protect you. It's just like all God is looking for us is the yes. Yes, are we going to have some rough times? Are we going to go through this? Are we going to go through that? Absolutely. Jesus went through it. You know what I mean? How many times did they try to kill Jesus in the Bible? So you don't think that we have to face anything? It's not going to always be smooth sailing. And that's something that I had to get through my head. Like, yo, I'm out here claiming Jesus. I'm professing Jesus. I love him. I'm looking to live for him 24/7. I'm looking to be more like him on a daily basis. And it was just a question that my pastor proposed to me. And she said, Pam, if somebody... Well, she asked me, I believe, I can't remember the way she asked me, but she basically said to me, she said, would you die for Jesus? And I had to sit there. And, I just, for a minute, and I was like, and I said to her, I said, I would want to say yes. I would want to say yes, like I would. And when I had to go home and I had to, like, digest this thing for myself, you know how you got to sit back and be like, yo. And I just began to say to God, I said, God, this does not mean that my life is going to always be a bed of roses, because you may very well send me into a place that, being who I am, is that I'm one that is, it's hard for me to go somewhere and not look for people to talk about Jesus, because that's just the heart that God has given me. Like, I'm always looking to see if I see an opportunity to mention Christ. And in my head, I was like, God, there's so many different countries that said that they don't even want your son's name spoken of. So with all of that being said, I had to digest the fact that God tells me, he says, Pamela, open your mouth and speak about me. So that makes me be like, yo, like there's a possibility that your girl can really die in this thing. And when I begin to accept that and receive it, I just begin to ask God for his boldness, for his courage, you know what I mean? And just to strengthen me, because I don't want to deny Christ. I don't want to deny him, whatever position I find myself in. So today was so beautiful and so dope, because it just goes to show that even though them cats was riding for Saul, meaning Paul, they was riding for old boy, but the moment he didn't do what they thought he should have been doing, they all turned on him. And they said, it said that they were plotting, not some or just a few of them. It said they, the same ones that was smiling in his face, the same ones that was there and down for him. The moment old boy found truth, boom, we gonna get you. And God protected him. So it's just like, regardless of who comes up against you, no matter what it is that you have to face, all you have to believe is that God will protect you. Even when it comes down, there are some people that are dying, literally, in these third world countries because they are professing Jesus Christ. Are they being protected? Yes. And I say that because I know some of y'all like, how they going to be protected, Pam? Because in the Bible, I believe it's in John chapter 8 or John chapter 6, it says that those who believe in Christ, who die in Christ, will not taste death. That's protection. It's protection. Because there is a death that man will taste. And that taste is hell. So I believe that God is a man of his word, and he always protects us, even in that Pamela, that when you die in me, if you were to die that way, listen, I still had you because I protected you from death.
Jesus.
So yes, that's what class was for us today, JB. I had a great time with them babies. They had me back there crying. I promise you. I was like, yo, I was done. Because we at the end of it, we talked about it, and I said to the kids, I was like, so, just talking about the lesson, and I was like, so what does God mean to you? And they began to say it, you know what I mean? I was like, so what do you believe? And what do you believe? And what do you believe? And I said to Sheila, I said, okay, so Sheila, you asked me, what do I believe? And I said, what I believe, and I got so choked up. And I was just like, wow, God. I said, thank you, because it's what I believe. You know what I mean? It's what I believe. I believe that God will protect me. I believe that he will never leave me nor forsake me. And the only way that I can know this, and I mean know it and not, oh God, and really not waver. You know what I mean? And even when I feel scared, you know what I mean? Because JB, like I be feeling scared. But it's just like now I'm learning how to say, no, Pamela, you don't have to be afraid because God is with me. He said that he would never leave me nor forsake me. He told me that he's given me power over the enemy. Even when, when you go to see somebody and they sick and it's just like, you like, oh God, how am I going to lay hands? Or somebody come to you and say, oh, I got this pain in my side. And you looking and saying like, dog, well, why didn't you go to that person to the left? You going to come to me to pray? But it's just like, I'm learning that it's nothing that I do in my own strength. I believe God. I believe him more and more and more. Am I perfect in all of the things when it comes to believing? No. Do doubt still try to come? Yes. Do I still have to fight it? Yes. Am I fighting it? Yes. I thank God that I'm not allowing it to get the best of me anymore. So I'm okay. I'm gonna stop my tangent. JB, did you go to church?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Come on, somebody.
Yes, I did. First service was the roll. It was amazing. It was cool. And at the end, like 2 minutes left, I get the word that oh boy, it's like I get a word that just really changed my perspective on a few things, and it kind of made things a lot more serious. Okay, if that makes any sense. I try to take things as they come and be light and not take things too serious. Okay. But it was something that was said that really caused me to see something. Okay. And when I saw that, I just can't have that be my fault. You know, so that was something that really bothered me this morning, but not in a bad way, but in a way that brought my attention to a few things. But our regular service, we the word was stewardship. Are you a good steward? And a lot of times when people think about steward, they only think about money. They think about like, are you good with your finances? That's how most people think.
Right.
But a steward is a manager over something that was given to them, right? Like a gift. And there was these questions that came up that kind of tried to show if you're really a good steward or not. And one of the questions was, do you believe that God is the owner of everything? And and then the next question was, do you use terms pretty much like my this, my that, my this, like my life, my child, my car, my house? So if you believe that God is is the owner of everything, then my doesn't really exist unless you're giving him unless you're giving him thanks for my house.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, I know I wouldn't have this without you.
That's right.
So that's the way the word came today. And it was really just trying to show how we are not good stewards over what God has given us, over our bodies, over our time, over our decisions, over the gifts that he has given a lot of us. We talked about, there was a praise dance that went forth. And normally, you know how when the praise dances happen, it's always happy at the end. God comes in and saves the day, or everybody's smiling. Oh no, God just left. And it left this person, it kind of allowed this person to be turned over. You got to see what it felt like to be turned over to your reprobate mind, or you got to be able to see what it's felt like when you keep taking God's grace and mercy for granted.
Disobedience.
So it was amazing to see. And then to follow that up with what I had to say in regard, and what God had me say in regards to stewardship. It's like, if you're not taking care of what he's given you, then he may just take it away.
Right.
And we, I believe that was one of the things that someone in our church had a thing where they were having like prophetic dreams, and they were like having these things that you would assume that they were going to track to be a prophet. And that was taken from them because of their disobedience. That was taken from them from their outright defiance. Right now, they don't have that gift anymore. So God has shown us that in the natural, and he has shown us in the spirit that this is something that will happen. If you don't do what is required, if you don't take care of what is given to you, you won't have it for very long. And if you think about that in the natural, if you don't take care of your car, eventually it will break down on you. If you don't take care of your home and you don't do the upkeep, you will be in a shell that will fall down around you. So that's the way the word was kind of coming forth today. And it really was about living a stewardship lifestyle, like being a good steward over your time, your finances, your body, your gifts. So if you have the gift of prophecy, you need to be a good steward of it. If you have the gift of healing, you need to be a good steward of it. You don't need to be selling your gifts. You need to, you get what I'm saying? You need to be doing what is required. And it was interesting because it spoke to me a lot first for a lot of things that I answered. It was also one of the questions was about integrity. Integrity is really being a man or a woman of your word. And, so it was pretty eye-opening for me. I took a lot from it, and, God had been yelling at me since Saturday in regards to some of this. So, I was at church, y'all. And, I learned that there's definitely a need for me to become a better steward over a lot of areas of my life. And that's how it was. It was more like each person needs to take accountability for themselves. Each person needs to take accountability for where they stand. And also, not lying to yourself. And I think that's where it starts. We've had a lot of services lately where it's all about yourself. And I know that sounds bad, but it's not. How do you expect to grow if you don't do the work, if you don't look within, if you don't prune and you don't allow things to be removed from you, if you don't allow things, habits to change and mindsets to change, and if you're so stuck in your ways that you don't see the forest through the trees, it's the trees through the forest, I think. One of those ways, y'all know what I mean.
Yes.
But it was eye-opening for me. God showed me in a lot of areas where I can improve. He showed me the areas that I'm doing well. So it wasn't like a thing where it was like beat me down, like where I feel like woe is me, but it was a thing where it was like, Joyce, I need you to be more like this. I can't keep telling you the same things. I can't keep going through the same motions. You're going to remain stuck. You're going to lose certain things if you don't push forward and do the things that are required. And for me, part of that is being a good steward over what God has already given us, because we say that God will provide, and in some cases he has already provided.
Absolutely.
We are just making the wrong choices and decisions with what he has given us, and it appears that we don't have what's needed, and we have it.
Right.
So that's where God had us today.
Yeah, that's dope. You know what? I actually shout out to my New Life Now family. I just want to say this. I want to propose this question. When was the last time we went out on the street and did some evangelism? When was the last time you invited someone to meet the man of your dreams? And what I mean by that is that the man with the master plan, the man that has everything. When was the last time you spoke to someone about Jesus, the love of God? When was the last time you showed the love of God? I want to shout out to my New Life Now family, pastor in training, Salimu Taylor. Shout out to her. We went out today and had an amazing time, just outreach. When was the last time that you stuck your hand out to, and this is what I'm asking everybody, when was the last time you stuck your hand out to a brother or a sister, someone that was hurting? And it doesn't always mean going out on the street, but it does mean going out on the street. When was the last time at work that you seen a coworker, you knew that she was or he was going through something, but you passed them up and passed them by because you was too busy with your own stuff, or you wasn't even paying too much attention because you just had things on your mind and things that you needed to get done? When was the last time that you showed the love of God? When was the last time? Y'all talk to me because I want to hear. I want to see. I'm just asking a question, and I'm not doing it because I want, everybody to just blow the feet up or whatever, or to make you feel some sort of kind of way, but just to really put it back to where, especially when we say that we are men and women of God, when we say that we love Christ, when was the last time? Because we are supposed to be his hands and feet, reaching out to a world, to a dying world that does not know him. Because we too was at the same place that somebody else was. Had not somebody prayed for us and somebody told us about the love of God, then where would we be? So my thing is, when was the last time you showed the love of God? When was the last time? Can you remember? Was it today? Was it yesterday? Was it the day before? Or you don't? I'm a Christian. I'm gonna sit on the pew. I'm gonna go to church, and I'm just worried about making it in. Is that your stance? Where are you when it comes to? Where are you when it comes to love for your brother or for your sister? I'm proposing the question. I haven't seen nobody hit this feed yet. When was the last time? Come on, be honest. Be honest with yourself. There was a time when I was all about me. I was engulfed in Pamela. And I say this, there was a time when my prayer life was just pretty much about myself in the beginning, because that was just what it was. The things that I wanted, the things that I did, the things that I that. Pretty much now in my prayers, I really don't mention myself, where God has to tell me, Pamela, pray for yourself. And it's because of this. And then too, just really just caring about the next person. Are we in that place? Are we in that place? And I'm speaking to those who say that they are Christians. I'm talking to you. Because I can't ask the world this. I'm asking us. When was the last time you told the person, that was sitting next to you in the cubicle, and you seen that they had this crazy attitude, but at the end of the day, did you stop to even think to say, dog, why they got this attitude? When was the last time you prayed for them? You seen them and you was just like, they came in real stink and nasty, and you just was like, when was the last time you prayed? When was the last time? Because you have no idea. I'll say it that way, have no idea what the next person is going through. The person that cuts you off on the road, we have no idea if they speeding to the hospital. We have no idea if they speeding just to go to work. We have no idea. When was the last time? When was the last time that our hands, we was Jesus' hands and feet, that we look like his hands and his feet? Or are we just going through the motions every day? Being quiet, being silent, going to Bible study on Wednesday if we go, or Thursday or Tuesday, or, when was the last time? Going to church on Sunday. When was the last time that Jesus can look down and say, okay, there go my hand. There go my feet. There go my fingers. There go my toes. Yeah. They looking more and more like me, or do we still look more like ourselves? Just proposing a question. It is quiet. It is quiet tonight. Stephanie Nelson, thank you for a comment. And she says, Stephanie says, some people do feel like if they give you a bad, if they give you, just leave them alone. You know what my thing is this, is that it doesn't mean that you always have to speak to somebody and pray with them. Just let the Lord lead you. But you can pray sitting where you are at your desk. God, I don't know what's wrong with them today. But God, I pray that you would give them joy. I pray that you would give them peace. I don't know if they got something going on in their family, but every time it seems like I see them, they got an attitude. God, every time it seems like I see them, they kind of nasty. God, dog, I have no idea, because I feel some sort of kind of way. But God, you told me to have love for my neighbor. I got to love my neighbor as I love myself, because that could be me. Today when we was out on the street, let me just say this. And today it was some young people. They was young, and they were homeless. 3 of them, 2 girls, 1 dude. I mean, these young babies, all 3 of them at one point just began to cry. It kind of messed me up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just like you want to try to fix it, but you can't. I'm not God, so I can't fix it, but I know who can. And so as we begin to pray with them, that thing just really it did something to me, because the one girl was like, I'll be out here fussing with God. She's like, I know God. And you could tell that she does. She's like, I know God. She's like, I'll be out here fussing. It just reminded me of just some things in my own prayers sometimes. She's like, I'll be out here fussing with God. She's like, but at the end of the day, she's like, I thank him every morning I wake up. She was like, but I don't know where I'm going to sleep. She's like, I'm a woman. I'm in a park. She's like, I'm in a park at nighttime. The other girl was just like, she's just like, I'm by myself. They met this one girl today. And the one girl that was in the middle, I'm not going to say her name. The one girl that was in the middle, she's like, I met her today. She was like, but she going to be okay, because she not going to be by herself, because she going to be with us. And that thing just did something to me. And they talked about how they went to church. They was like, we going to come to your church. And I know that they really going to come. I know it. And I told them where we were going to be meeting next. We going to be in the park. And they was like, we going to come. Because the one girl said, she's just like, and we were just talking. We was like, yeah, we going to have food there. And the one girl, she said, I haven't had a cooked meal in so long. She's like, I'm coming. Like, yo, we don't know what people are going through, but we be so stuck in our own zone sometimes. When was the last time that you was his hands and his feet? Come on, y'all. I only see 2 people talking to me. It's quiet because we can't remember, or it's quiet because we not doing. Are we convicted?
Kiki,
if you convicted, cool, good.
Kiki says, I pray for people all the time. I even talk to them and let them vent to me, so I could get a better understanding of their problems that many people think are minor, but it could be major to them.
Come on, Kiki. I love that. Absolutely. And I'm not fussing at y'all tonight. I'm just saying, like, we got to get back to the place where we are doing, not just going to church every Sunday and hearing what the pastor is saying, hearing what the ministers are saying, and then we leave, and then that's it. We sit with it all throughout the week, and then we come back up Sunday again. We get filled up. What happens to a car if you put too much gas in it? It begins to spill out. So we just going to continuously just get fed and fed and fed and fed and fed and fed, just get spiritually fat? You think that we are supposed to keep this to ourselves? No. We got to tell people about a living Savior, a dying world. That's what they used to say. And it really is a dying world. If we look around us, how many people dying every day? And how many people are dying without Christ? For those of us who know him, who profess him, who say, we raise our hands and hallelujah, God, I thank you. Dance the church down. Glory, shout it down. Because I know I'm one that'll shout. I'll give him the glory. I'll give him the honor. And I'll give him a praise. But what does that mean if I'm not being his hands and his feet? The only thing I'm doing is just a sounding board. That's it. I'm faking facts. I'm faking jacks. is what I'm doing. That's how I feel that I would be doing. I'm doing a disservice to God and to people because I'm supposed to be doing something. What about somebody that is the head of a company, and they come in and they see that the workers is not doing what they're supposed to do? Eventually, after a while, you're going to get fired. And you said that. Got to take away the very thing, the stewardship. God said, okay, you can give that back to me. I gave you a voice to sing and, to set people free. You ain't always got to sing at a church. Sometimes you can be on the street and somebody out there just need to hear, yes, Jesus loves me. But sometimes we so not in tune with God that we don't even know when the Spirit of God is pushing us to open our mouths. And you can be walking down the street and you have no idea that your voice ringing down the sidewalk could be setting people free. We have no idea how God really wants to use us. But we go into church Sunday, and Sunday, and Sunday, and Sunday. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Abdul said, I once saved a man's life who was going to commit suicide at Elizabeth train station. To God be all the glory, Abdul. I remember that story. I remember when you had posted it. I give God praise for using you. It is only by the power of God. God has the power to use any of us because he said it in the book of Proverbs. I'm so sorry that I don't have the scripture, but I will look it up, where it talks about that God has the heart of the king in his hands, and like the rivers of waters, he's able to turn it whichsoever way he desires. So with that being said, I thank God for using you. I really do. I give him glory, I give him honor, and I give him praise because truly he used you to intervene. So I bless God, I bless God. This is what it's about, y'all. We got to be out here really, really, truly, honestly, with our eyes open saying, okay, God, I want to be used of you. I don't want to just go to church Sunday after Sunday after Sunday and just get gassed up and then I leave. And come back and get gassed up and I leave. And we're not doing anything because people around us really, truly, honestly are dying. JB, do you see what Kelly said? You see? Yes.
Kelly wrote, we were at Walmart last night and a man and a woman were obviously having a domestic dispute, and a man jumped out of a car in the middle of the parking lot, yelling and screaming, and walked off. I walked over to the van and asked the lady, was she okay? And I asked her if I could pray with her, and we did.
Amen. To God be all the glory, Kelly. Amen. And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have no idea how people are hurting. We have no idea. None whatsoever. And then sometimes the beautiful thing is that we have no idea that how many people need prayer. There are some people that reject it, and be like, no, I'm good. And then you have some that be like, nah, I'm good. And then they be like, you know what? Yeah, you can pray for me. And then you have some that be like, yes, please pray for me. We have no idea. All we got to do is open our mouths. And don't get me wrong, before that thing used to burn when you ask somebody, you like, and they reject you, like, I ain't asking nobody else. But it's not about me. It's just about just going, and don't be dismayed by people's faces. They not rejecting us. They're not rejecting us. They're just like, nah, I'm good. And it's just like, okay, they good. Then let me go ask the next person. Even if you out of 10, one person out of 10, that's wonderful because you were supposed to meet that one and pray for that one. I heard somebody say one time, if it was one person on the planet that Jesus would have died for, that one person. That's love. That's love. I believe it. So I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Let me see what else is on the line.
Yeah, Kelly's was the last.
Kelly was the last?
Yeah.
Okay.
Abdul said, praise God, when we were referring to his post.
Yes.
But yeah, it's about being, being God's hands and feet. But there's varying ways, to do that. Some people go out and evangelize. Some people, in Kelly's case, you're not necessarily out to evangelize, but you see a situation and it just speaks to your heart, you have to do something. You have to pray. I mean, I know that I've gone out, I've evangelized, I've gone out and I've prayed with people. I've gone out and like I'm someplace and someone doesn't have enough money to pay for their groceries, and I could see them battling to see what they should put back, and I've offered to pay it all. You know, because God has blessed me with much, so I try to do what I've done, little smart things back for him, and you never know what that will do for a person. That, you know, I've done it in larger amounts. I've done it in smaller amounts. I never make big announcements about it, but it's all a way for God to get the glory in our lives and in their lives. Because when I see this mother that was deciding if she should put back the formula or the chicken, everybody need to eat. You know what I mean? Like, and then some of them, you know, they're embarrassed. I don't know. It kind of lets them know that, hey, you know, and I always say, girl, I've been in a place where I couldn't pay for everything either. You know what I mean? I've always tried to not make it seem like this is a handout. You know what I mean? Like, you know, God bless you. You know, don't worry about it. You know, God is giving you a break today, or God is giving you a helping hand today, or God just sent me at the nick of time. What are the odds that I'm behind you? You get what I'm saying? And so that is a way to do it as well. I mean, I'm not saying go out and pay for everybody in front of you and behind you. I know people have done that. But what I'm saying is that there are times where you're going to go out and you're going to straight evangelize. You're going out to find people to pray for. But then there's other times where people are just going to be in your midst, and you feel led to pray. You feel led to do something. You feel led to, even if it's not physically going to them and pray. There's people at my job that I've prayed for. There's people at my job that know that I'm Christian and know that I'm a minister and know these things, and they're okay with me praying for them. Everybody is not Christian, but just because they're not Christian, if they come in with a funky disposition, I'll still pray, because I don't want that on me. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't want that in my atmosphere. I want the atmosphere to shift. I want God to be in the midst. I want God to try to lighten their load. I want, you know, so I mean, there's ways that we all probably do this, and maybe not necessarily thinking of it because of the way that Pam is explaining. Yes, there's many ways that we can evangelize. There's many ways that we can pray for people. But in the sense of, you know, Pam is an evangelist, so this is kind of her thing. She likes to do this. This is something that God has gifted her with. This is her grace, if that makes any sense. Pam will talk to anybody about God anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? And God knows that about her, so that is her gift. That is her grace. Amen. But every one of us can pray. Amen. Every one of us can say hello. Every one of us can be a smile. Every one of us can do that. So right. If you're not doing that, don't beat yourself up. Get out and do it. You'll be surprised how much better you'll feel. Just say, hey, God bless you. Like the other day, I have no idea why I felt like a big wuss. I was sitting in this restaurant, and there's this mother and daughter sitting next to me. And they were talking about family members being sick and da-da-da. They were just going back and forth. But their conversation was just so sweet and so pure. I turned over to them and I said, God bless y'all. I said, I don't know what it is, but I said, I absolutely love your guys' connection. I said, you make me want to go call my mom. You make me want to get up from this table and go do something. And I was like, you know, and I started crying. Like my eyes started to get filled with tears. And I was like, this is not happening to me up in here. But anyway, it did. And I can tell that it was something that caught them off guard, but it's also something that they both smiled about, they both laughed about, and they just started, because they were arguing a little bit, but this is every day. They had a little conversation about it, and you can see the joy in their faces. So you don't know what your comment, what your smile, what your hello, just letting somebody know that you see them. Because some people walk through this world feeling invisible, feeling like no one knows them, no one loves them, no one cares about them. You just saying hello could be the difference between that person having a great day and a mediocre day. You just saying hello can be the difference between that person committing suicide or not. There was a video of something a while ago where this person just stopped and said hello to somebody, and that person wrote that person a note. And I will see if I can find it. If I can find it, I will post it on Pam's page for all you guys. But that person wrote a note saying that you stopping me to say hello changed the perspective of my day, because I was not feeling like I wanted to move on. I was not feeling like anybody would miss me. I was not feeling like anybody would care. So yes, it is very, 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 very important that we show people that we care. We show people that God cares, because just like we may have a day where and this happened to me plenty of times. I have a tremendous core group of family and friends, tremendous core. And I guess for some of them, they see when I'm not my best, and I'll get a random call or I'll get a random statement. I even get somebody clowning me, but it can be the difference between me having a miserable day and a great day. It could be the difference between me going forth and praying about a thing, or then me sitting back and worrying about a thing. So to what Evangelist Long is saying, it is extremely important that we continue to be God's hands and feet. It is extremely important. Even if you don't go out to do evangelism with your church, we can all be in the store and say, hello, how are you doing? God bless you. We all can be at home with someone who maybe not be as strong in the Lord as you. Hey, God bless you. I'm praying for you today. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm letting you know. I'm praying for you today. Today's going to be an amazing day. And they may look at you like you all kinds of crazy. But when their day is amazing, they're going to remember that you prayed for them to have an amazing day. So those are the things that I think sometimes, and maybe that's why people aren't posting. They're thinking about the big grand thing. But I'm telling you, a lot of us, we may do this every day already. Kiki wrote, I try to do a good deed every chance I get. I once was told that just by holding the door and open for someone made their day. The smallest gestures can change a life. And you are so right. I've had people tell me just saying hello made a difference. Just the acknowledgement of a head nod turned a person who may have been walking down the street frowning, turn that smile upside down. So you're definitely right. It does not take much to change a person's life.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, JB. Stephanie actually says, she watched a show called What Would You Do? And she said, and this single mother with 2 kids went out to eat with her son, went out to eat for her son's birthday. However, this woman had to split her meal with her kids because she barely had money to fully feed the kids with the individual food. Her son, who's the oldest, says that he was very hungry and he wanted a cake, but she couldn't afford cake either. But as they were eating, she began to cry, and other people felt bad, and they helped. It was nothing but God. She said a lady gave her $100 and told her to give her son a cake. Almost everyone helped with compassion. That was a blessing. Yes, amen.
I love that show. I've seen that show in a lot of scenarios. Wow. I love that show, and because it kind of shows you that people do really still care, right? It shows you. I mean, granted, everybody doesn't. But people still really do care. Yeah. And when you see people step up, I've seen one where this woman was in a black barbershop and the black woman was going in on her. Really? Oh, going in on her. And nobody was stopping it. It was like a joke. And this one black guy was like, no, you're not going to talk to her like that. Yeah. I don't care who you are, what this is. And mind, she was in a black barbershop. So it was like, that show is kind of eye-opening because it kind of shows you people's true character, right? Because they don't know that the camera is watching. None of these people are doing these things for any accolades. None of them are trying to be seen. None of them want to be, the new Facebook story. None of them are doing it for any other reason than the compassion or the fact that God made them move. Yeah. Right. And to me, that show, Stephanie, I love it, and I don't know if I saw that one, but I know I'm gonna go Google it because I want to see it. Wow. Because that show, I like the premise of it. I love the premise of it, and it shows it in regards to homeless people as well. You see, you have a black homeless person and you have a white homeless person. You see, the more people were helping the white homeless person than they were helping the black, right. and you're sitting back like, what's the difference? Yeah. Right. But it just goes to show you that people have a warped sense of self in some cases, and then other cases you can see God truly moving. So definitely it makes a huge difference just to say to me, I think it makes a huge difference just to smile and say hello. I notice that I don't like to do that often. I'm not a talker to people, just not. But when I get in these spaces where God is pushing me out of my comfort zone, I realize that it makes a huge difference. I've had people like, girl, you never spoke. I'm
Right.
like, yes, that's not what I do. But it made a difference. People get to
Yes.
see you in a different light. People get to
Yes.
see the
Amen.
God in you in a different light.
Amen.
So it's been amazing.
Amen. Amen. JB, Johnny said, there was a time, hey, Johnny, he said, there was a time I was getting off a train and this lady was in a wheelchair trying to get people's attention. Everyone kept walking past her, ignoring her. He says he walked to her to see what was wrong. She said she just wanted someone to wheel her to her house up the street because her arm was hurting real bad. So I did. As I was talking to her to her house, she just cried and said, thank you. This means the world to me. And I know that was God, because I was not even supposed to be on that train. Come on.
Amen.
At that train stop, I took a different route to work because I was running late. Come on, God. Come on.
Amen.
Come on.
And those are the stories that when you see them on Facebook, they touch you, right? I mean, this should be how every common person, common decency would be, within people, right? Common decency is to help,
Kiki.
but God is amazing, and he puts people in the right places in the right time, and he's connecting people across racial lines, age lines, and everything. So, and that's what makes this kind of walk, people are people.
Yes.
So it's not like you just go help the black people. You help people.
People. That's right. People. Kiki said that there was a gentleman when she was at the Dollar Tree. She said she saw him standing by the cards, and she asked him if he was all right. She said, come to find out, he couldn't read. So she said she ended up helping him pick out a card. He ended up in tears. She said that stuck with me the most. Jesus,
Amen.
Come on, God. Come on. And that's what it's about. It's just like, we are helpers of one another. That's basically what we're supposed to be. It's just like, it's time for us, and it's time for more and more people to realize that, just to know that we are here to be helpers of one another, not to be crabs in a barrel
mentality, pulling each other down.
Pulling each other down. It's time to pull each other up, and just to keep pulling and keep pulling and to keep pulling.
Each
That's
one
what
help one.
come on, that's what it's about. We have to. We really, truly, honestly have to. So I really thank everybody for weighing in. I really do. I really do appreciate, just the you taking a moment just to type some things up. Stephanie said, for the last of this, Stephanie said some people only try to help others and they think that they'll get something out of helping. Yeah. Some people are like, Boy, oh boy, do I know that one well. I know that one very well. Stephanie, that last comment just struck her. How something hit you a little hard. You know? Yes, because I know that one very well. And God sees it and he knows it. God sees it and he knows it. And with that being said, in that he will avenge. God will avenge. If some people, my mama used to say this to me. She used to say, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool God none of the time. So, with that being
and
said,
on top of that too,
come on.
God still used them. The thing got done, so they could have been doing it for whatever they wanted to. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get anything out of it.
Yes.
God can still use, like what they say, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. I mean, so at the end of the day, God still got what he needed to get done through that person. So I don't understand why people do that in those ways, but it is really not about. It's really not about that. That's why I love the stories when you see the things that get posted or whatever, when it's somebody who had no idea was being recorded. Like I think today I saw something where this black guy, I want to say he's Air Force, Army, one of those services, and he saw this older lady who was at, I guess she went to a supermarket or whatever, and she had a walker. Like, remember, like the push seat walkers, and it was filled with bags. Like, so she had walked to the supermarket, and now her walker is filled with bags. And she's walking in the street, and everybody's passing her. He stops, helps her, puts all her bags in his car, and drives her home. And it just so happened that a person stopped and recorded it.
Jesus.
He didn't do this with any motive. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
do this with any agenda. He didn't do this thinking anybody would ever know. You get what I'm saying? And that's when you know something is genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was nothing he gained from doing that. I mean, granted, now, yes, it appears that he gained some notoriety or whatever, but no one would have known if that random person didn't stop to record it. So those are the stories that when you start to see that, oh, you know, people do care. People still do care. God is still prevalent amongst his people. God still has a voice amongst his people. God is reaching out to give you a hug through others constantly. You know, and it's not, everybody is not racist. Everybody is not, you know, full of hate. Everybody is not, you know, out to destroy you. Everyone is not trying to kill your dreams or kill your joy. Everybody is not that. And so I think the quicker we get to the point where we realize that that's not the case, and I believe the people of God will start to fill those voids. You get, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right, JB. I agree, because everybody is not out. We just have to make sure that's where it comes in. Like Pastor always says, you know, thank God for our pastor. Shout out to Pastor Didi, who is not here tonight. She's on assignment, doing what she needs to do for the Lord. And, you know, just to that spirit of discernment. We have to be able to discern, you know what I mean? And to make sure that...
Yeah, you have to be able to discern, but also too,
they say,
you know, at a point, we don't have to worry about all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that is on them. If they want to go out, they want to lie, they want to deceive, they want to be dishonest, they have to account for that, not us. So that's the piece that I love. I love the fact that all you really have to do is be accountable for you. Everything else, you know, God has that.
Yeah, I'm praying for it, you know, and then too, you pray for them because we are our brother's keeper. You know, the Bible says, "Oh, no man nothing except for to love him." So we love him and praying that you get it right, because God see all and he knows all.
Amen. Yes, he does.
So with that being said, we ain't doing it yet. Somebody help me out. JP, help me out with this roll call. Roll call.
All right. I know.
Tonight.
I saw Cena. I saw Kiki. I saw Stephanie.
Kiki.
I saw
Come on,
Johnny.
Kiki.
I saw Tessa. Hey, Tessa. Kelly. I saw Kelly. Right. I saw Abdul. I saw Somber C. Hey, Somber C. Again, check her out Mondays. If you're not following her on Facebook, you should be. Follow Songbird C, and that's SONG Bird, BIRD space CEE. Follow her on Monday. She does Hot Topic Mondays. It's amazing. I see my Isha. All right. I see. Who else do I see? I see Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. How are you? I see Jay. Hey, Jay. All right. I think I see Phil. Hey, Phil. We were talking about you earlier. Great trainer. I remember. All right. Phil Lightfoot is on. All right. That's all I can go back to see.
Let you go back. All right, we got Belvedere in the building. We got James to the Lazong in the building. We got Nikki. We got Johnny. I love you, Beanie. We got Eric. I know you probably like, yo, why did she just say that? We got Jewel in the building. Hey, Cuddy. We got Edward in the building. We got, of course, Johnny. Fantasia's in the building. Catherine Neal is in the building. Hey, Mommy K. We got, we said Kelly. We got Kimberly in the building. We got Abdul in the building. Let's see if it's going to let me go up. We got Sister Tessa. We got Melvin. We have, hey, Melvin, how are you? Blessings to you. We have Leighton in the building. We got Valerie in the building. We got Carla. What's up, cuz? We got Nicole. And we have so many other people before that, and it will not let me go back up. I'm so sorry, y'all.
But what I would tell you is that God knows you're here.
Yes.
We thank you for being here.
Thank
Hallelujah.
you for tuning in
Yes,
tonight.
we thank you for being here. And we thank you for indulging us and listening to us talk about being at church. And we pray that each one of you were at church. And then on top of that, you know, Evangelist Long talked about evangelism, and I think I touched a chord, and I'm seeing that so many people reach out in varying ways, and that's what it is. It's all about each one helping someone else, and you'd be surprised when you start praying for and helping others, your situations don't appear to be that big of an issue anymore. You know,
You're
right? It
absolutely
puts some
right.
things in perspective, and it allows you to focus on other things. You know, instead of sitting and worrying. No. God didn't give us the spirit of worry. So, interceding, praying, being there for others, that all is a necessary step in this Christian walk.
Absolutely, JB. Absolutely. Now, I wanna ask those who know what time it is. Did you look at your clock
Oh no.
to see? Y'all already know who it is. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time for the J to be on.
Oh, well, you know, it's very simple today. It's very simple. Y'all do know already that the Giants won and the Cowboys lost.
They won we ain't got nobody on our team.
Don't matter. We got less. So that is where we start today. The Cowboys lost to the 49ers, no less, and the Giants won. But yeah, so I mean, you know what? Oh, we played the Jets. But the Jets supposed to have this big time quarterback. Come on now, they got Le'Veon Bell, and
when y'all play somebody that's
I mean, come on, y'all played the 49ers. Calm down,
right.
calm all the way down. And y'all not paying your quarterback, and y'all not paying your running back. So I don't know how y'all going to make it anywhere. Yeah, well, they supposedly offered Dak a $30 million deal. He turned it down, and from what I hear right now, Zeke, they're not willing to pay him a lot of money. One, he's a head case. And two, they don't think that they have to. So unless he does an Antonio Brown and holds out, I don't know what's going on. And then you got this. You have Antonio Brown, everybody. I know right now Steeler fans are ecstatic that he is no longer a part of their team. Every Steeler fan that ever was born is just excited that AB is now a Raider. This dude has threatened to retire from football if he cannot wear his old helmet.
I can't.
I have never heard of such a thing. He had a statement saying he don't need football, he don't need this, he don't need that. He just makes African American male athletes look like idiots. And I know Giants fans, you're not really happy about it, right? But you about to get really happy about not having OBJ. Because best believe OBJ is AB in the making.
I can't.
We would have had a problem with him wanting to paint a helmet or some crap soon. And the thing is, if you watch the Giants play on the other day, you were excited, right? The young boy comes out. He's 5 for 5. He throws for a touchdown, and he looks Eli-esque, right? He has that calm, goofy-looking demeanor, and he does it, right? I mean, every Giants fan went into that game like, man. And I saw so many posts after saying, did we find our quarterback? I think we just might have. I think we might just have done that. And he can learn behind Eli this year. Y'all do not understand. We have Saquon. Now, granted, I know our wide receiver situation is crazy. We got people that's injured. We got people that have PD suspensions. We have a lot happening. We got to work that out. But with Ingram, Saquon, our quarterback in the making, and Eli looking good, y'all, I was excited. Our defense I wasn't too excited about. I mean, because how many more points? I mean, the Jets were scoring at will. But still, I was excited about what I saw. I was so excited that I'm going to order the NFL Network Red Zone. Yes, because I was like, I don't know if I want to see all these games if they're going to be this bad. But I now know that I do. And the Cowboys looked horrible. They looked horrible, but you already know there's a lot of turmoil. And preseason, we don't put a lot of stock in it. But if they cannot sign their quarterback and if they cannot sign their running back, they're going to have major problems. They're going to have major problems. And on top of that, today you saw that the wide receiver coach for the Steelers has passed away. He was a young guy. I think it's his first or second season with them. So I know Steeler Nation, I know they're praying and I know that they are lifting up the coach and his family. But it was kind of sudden. So they have to they have to hire a new coach for their wide receivers. So we're going to see what happens with that. But again, that happened today. John Stark's birthday was this week. I know we're excited about that. I know I just had to say that. I know. And then if y'all follow anybody on Instagram, you saw that CP3, you saw LeBron, and you saw Melo were working out together. I don't know what that means, but it does show you that Melo's still working out, and he looked just as good as the rest of them. So hopefully Melo will get picked up at some point during this week. I know Lala, his wife. Nah. They always work out together. They're cool.
Oh, okay. You think they're trying to help it?
Yeah,
help him just to get the exposure that he's still doing
cool.
his thing?
They cool. I think they work out every off season. That's part of the reason why people don't like this NBA so much. It's like, back in the day, like Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan, they wasn't hanging out off season.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They kind of, I don't want to say they really hated each other, but they really didn't like, they didn't like each other.
Yeah, they
you know what I mean? Now maybe afterwards they laughed, they joked, they clowned. Like, I mean, there's a video of Mutombo clowning Jordan, saying that Jordan never dunked on him, and then Jordan dunked on him.
Yeah.
And so what I mean, like that type of things would happen. But like coming and hanging out and being cool and just act like everything's all love and pick up basketball together. That wasn't what happened in the old school days. And so some people are saying they don't like this new NBA per se for that reason, because everybody's so friendly, everybody's so whatever, to the point where they pick on Steph, the person who's like the least threatening person in the league, right? I mean, granted, he's a great player, but like he's not that person that talk a bunch of crap. He's just not that dude. But everybody's against him. Everybody's hating on his game. So NBA is kind of different right now. We're going to see what happens. We got all these little two things. But right now, it's all about football. It's all about football. All about football. If you have a chance, the last 2 days of Giants camp are Monday and Tuesday. And on Tuesday, if you are a true Giants fan, you will know Stephen Baker is going to be one of the alumni people that are coming to sign autographs. And we used to call him Stephen Baker the what? The touchdown maker. I know that was pretty corny, but that's what we used to call him. So if you are interested in going on Tuesday, that's what I probably will be there on Tuesday. Stephen Baker will be one of the alumni players there signing autographs. If you want an autograph, I suggest you get there on the earlier side, because I don't remember the cutoff number, but they do stop at a certain point. I think it may be like 300 or 400. I'm not 100% sure. So if you really want the autograph, you want to make sure you get there earlier, on the earlier side. And I believe the doors of the camp open at 10:15 on both days. So if you want to see who's going to be there on Monday, go to Giants.com. The whole schedule is right there for you to do that. I believe Jet has open practice too, if you're interested in the Jets, because you're thinking about the local teams. I know Philly, the Philadelphia Eagles do. They used to be at Lehigh Valley College. I'm not sure if they're still there. So if you're interested in your team, just go to their website. I'm telling you, a lot of their practices are open and they're free. And this should be the last week of open practices. So get out, jump out, try to catch the last couple days, get to see some of your players, get to see some people before they get cut. And there's a pretty good feel-good story down in Cleveland, and it's not OBJ. There's a young player that was signed recently who kind of lied his way onto the team. He said he knew the owner or something like that, and he didn't. But then when he got in the door, he went to talk to the guy to make it seem like he did. But he wasn't invited to the open tryouts, but he was able to try out. He ran a good speed, and they wind up calling him back. And he did not have a place to stay. So he slept outside the facility for the week until the camp opened. And he said he slept between, he had a 24-hour fitness membership. He slept between the gym and outside the place where he worked out. So he scored a touchdown, and everybody went nuts.
Wow.
When I say everybody went nuts, everybody went nuts. So even if you're not a Cleveland Brown fan, even if you could care less about the Browns, his story is amazing. If you get a chance, check out his page. His name is Damian, and when you go and you see him, he's a young kid. They talk about his story. They talk about how he will, how he got through college, and how, like I said, the whole thing about him staying outside and not even bringing attention to that. This wasn't court until now. Nobody knew he was sleeping outside, but he made the team. Well, I don't know if he made final cuts, but he ran back a touchdown. He ran back a kickoff for a touchdown, and he is the feel-good story of that team. With all the chaos, all the egos and all that going on in that team, to have somebody that's humbled and you just root for him. And I said, I posted, and I'm not a Browns fan at all. I posted that I really hope he makes the team. I like these stories. I liked in Miami, the Dolphins, everybody heard about the player who had to have their arm amputated.
Yes.
They made him an honorary captain of one of the preseason games. Like, teams don't have to do that. And the fact that these teams going a little bit above and beyond, I really am loving these storylines that are coming out of the NFL, because, in the past couple of years, there's been so much owners against players, protests against not protests, saluting the flag against not saluting the flag. It's been just so much nonsense and so much stuff that's not football. It's so good this season so far for it to just really be about football again. And it's been amazing the first couple games that I've seen, even though it's not top-notch football yet, everybody's not up to par, but it was really good to see the Giants win. It was really good to see Jones, the quarterback, play. It was really good to see Saquon. It was really good to see the Cowboys lose. These are things that make me happy, right? No. And and this is going to be a fairly long season. So and then when they listed the quarterbacks, the rookie quarterbacks, they listed the two quarterbacks that everybody thought that the Giants should have picked up. And you know what? They had about the same numbers as our boy. But one of them had two INTs. Our boy had no missed passes. He was 5 for 5 and a touchdown. And 87 yards. So I feel as though we made the correct choice. I didn't believe that at the time. If we're going to model behind Eli, this guy seems to have his mannerism, his stature, his arm. He has nice vision. I'm very excited about what I see. And that is so why I want to go to the camp to see it for myself. Make sure there's no TV magic. Okay. But for the most part, you guys, that's it with sports for me today. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me, JB on Sports. Yep. You can reach out through Pamela Long's page. You can reach out through whatever forms. You could call in. You could do it, all these wonderful things. Or you can go to the website as well. And I will answer all your questions. I promise you.
You already know what time it is. J to the B on sports. Y'all know what it is. Hey, listen, I wanna get into this segment where y'all speak. It's all about your voice. I wanna know about raising kids nowadays. What would you do if your 17-year-old came home and he had his girlfriend in the house, you didn't know it, and you woke up to them being in the house together, in his bedroom, her bedroom with her boyfriend? What's your words on that? Talk to me. 646-233-1302. Weigh in 646-233-1302. And I'm gonna go a little deeper. 17. Let's go 18, 19, 16. Some down to 15. Talk to me. 646-233-1302. How are we raising kids today? Is it okay? Do we condone sex before marriage? What are we saying to our kids? Or what are we not saying? 646-233-1302. Especially when we say that we Christian, that we love God. Because some people don't say I'm a Christian. Some people say I love God. Okay. You just told me that you love God, right? And God is what? What is God? He's pure. There is no sin in God. And because of such, I need for you to talk to me. 646-233-1302.
Candy said, "Oh no."
How are we raising our kids? How we raising them? What we saying? What we not saying? All right. This is very different because there were times, I'm going to put myself on Front Street, that we're not going to do it up in my mama house because my mama would break every leg I had, and those that I didn't have, she would have broke those. But on for real, when my mama wasn't home and she was away, did I have somebody in the house that I shouldn't have had in the house? Yes, I did. When his parents was away, was I in his house? And I got caught a couple of times at his house by his mama. Thank God for grace that she did not tell Judy. Because, God, I don't think I would be on this microphone tonight. But at the end of the day, when I've come to knowing the truth about things, how we living? Pam, how you living? What you gonna say to your kid? What you gonna say? Come on, talk to me. 646, or either put it up on here. Y'all saying no to what?
Yeah,
nope. And nope. What? Okay, Candy, talk a little more to me. Not happening in my house. It's Tessa, I get you. Kiki, she got all types of punches. Come on, every hand that you could think of that's up here. Listen, what are you going to do? Because there are some that encourage the kids.
When I was in high school, there were a few people that I know, their parents was okay with them having people in their house and actually okay with them having sex in their house. They felt like they would prefer them to do it here than be out in like the hotels or in the street or whatever. And for some people, that rationale makes perfect sense, right? So, but also too, we're not talking about people of God. So for them,
but even if you're not a person of God,
but for them,
how is that rational? You want to hear your kid?
No, it's not necessarily hear them. It was more so knowing that, okay, the way it was explained to me is like they know that they're going to do this anyway. They would prefer them to be here and be safe than to be anywhere else and not knowing if they're going to be safe. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying this was stuff that was happening when I was in high school. So there were people that I know that had no problem bringing somebody home. No problem at all. Mm-hmm. Me, I couldn't even have a boyfriend until I was 16. Then when I was 16, I couldn't have boys call my house. I had boys calling, acting like girls. Then I had to bring my brother with me because then I was like, all right, at 17. Then I had to bring my brother with me because I couldn't drive at night by myself. Right. So it was like it was doomed from the jump. So, but what I'm saying is that it was just a different way of I guess how people brought their kids up, you know. And but that, I mean, to this day, I mean, think about it. You got parents that party with their kids. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is a very different view. Now, if you're saying a Christian view, of course, nobody that has a Christian view would definitely not condone opposite sex. No, I said a Christian view.
There are some.
You would not condone it. I'm not saying that you might not allow it to happen, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't be like, come on in here, girl. Come on in here. Your girlfriend can stay tonight. You wouldn't do that if you had a Christian view.
Some think they might have a Christian view then.
Well, then that's different because if you had a Christian view, then that goes against everything that you stand for. Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about for children too. You know, if we're talking about 17, 15, 16, they're not even old enough to make their own decision. Now, when they get to be 18, 19, 20, you don't really have any control over what decisions they make at that age because they're grown. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, you do. You have all the, you know, you do.
Yeah, it's just that, listen, if and it's just like, you know, there are some in my little cousins and my nieces and nephew, they're getting older, you know what I mean? And they're getting older, and it's just like, who wants to, you kind of don't want to have that conversation, but you got to have the conversation. And when you have such a conversation with them, you're just looking just to let them know, like, listen, I'm here for you. Like, we can talk, like, you can keep it 100 with me. And this is not what God wants you to be doing. Like, you know, you want to stay pure. You want to keep that purity even as a young man. You know, it doesn't mean that you corny, don't mean that you whack. It just mean that you just rolling in a way that you're doing it God's way. You know, you can get more than, you can catch more than just a baby out here, a disease. You can catch what somebody has that people don't see. And whatever spirits they carrying and they hosting, and whoever they slept with, whatever is in them. See, we're gonna go a little deep because it's connecting. Connect. When two come together, all right. Y'all come together like that, and it seemed like it's just something to quick in and out. No, you become married because the two shall become one. And when that happens, whatever's on the inside of them becomes a part of you, and whatever's a part of you becomes a part of them. And then if they was with somebody before that, and 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 that, and whatever the unseen that they have living on that was living on the side of them, guess where all of that stuff is now? On the inside of you. So those are some of the things that we have to start to tell the young people, that it's deeper than just chlamydia in babies and HIV and herpes. Listen, you can catch something that make your behind want to jump off of a building, and you have no idea that you can go from one of the sweetest, greatest kids ever to one of the most depressed kids that you have no idea what has happened. It's because of you've connected to something that you should not have connected to. Now, with that being said, you make your choice, because I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you the truth about what you do. And those are some of the things I think that we need to lay on the line for these kids, and let them know, like, yo, it's deeper than you just getting a feeling in your pants, bruh. It's deeper than you just getting a feeling in your pants, young lady. Listen, let's go a little deeper and talk a little deeper about what you really can catch and what you can get. But there are some that are okay with it. Listen, if that's what you're gonna be doing, you wanna bang bellies with somebody, you're not gonna do it up in here. Good night. You gotta go. But there are some that it's just like, yo, jokers are really yeah. Yeah. And on that note, it done got quiet in the
No. Kelly said nowadays parents aren't saying anything because they're doing the same thing.
Jesus.
And she also posted earlier, she said, my oldest son tried it. And she said, oh, yeah, I went all the way off.
Yes, come on.
Candy said, doors will be coming off the hinges.
Listen, you better say, come on, kick the door. What Biggie say? Kick in the door. I ain't going to say waving the 4-4 because I ain't going to do that. But I'm kicking that door.
Kiki says, seems like a lot of parents are considering their teenagers as grown and treating them like they are.
That's true. I agree with that.
And two, you know, to me, what I've noticed for some is at those teenage years, your kids are already kind of pulling away and rebelling against you a little bit. And I think some parents feel as though they're going to lose them. And I've had small conversations with some, and that is a thought. Like, if they don't let them do what they want to do, some people feel as though they're going to lose them. And Jesus. At the end of the day, it is a really sad state to be at. You should want better for your kid. I mean, granted, I know I've said everything that I could say to my son about everything that I could say things to him about. I didn't hesitate in talking about certain things when he got to be of age. And but he's still going to make his own decisions. He's still going to do what he wants to do. He's still going to make his own choices. And I have to be okay with that. But I'm still going to say what I believe. I'm still going to say how I feel. And I'm still going to say what I think you should do. But I can't force that. Now at 15, 16, I could force that. It was no problem. But after 18, 20, I can't force that. I can say how disappointed I am. I can say how you're going to add extra stress, add extra worry, add extra responsibility. You're going to add things to your life that you didn't necessarily have to add, right? But now, I can't live his life for him. But he can't say that he didn't know. He can't say Now, if he's dealing with a thing or has an issue or whatever, that he wasn't warned, he wasn't told about these things. And that's the piece that I think we have to get to the point where we just got to be who we are in God, and allow your kid to grow and do what it is that he needs to do. But he can't say he wasn't warned. He can't say he wasn't told. Like, I can honestly say that my mother talked to me about nothing. Nothing. And my father even less. The conversation that was had was, Dad, why did Melvin my brother was Melvin. Why does he get to go out and hang out, do whatever he want to do? He used to always say, the babies come home with the girl. And that was it. That was it. There's a double standard. This is pretty much my father told me. There is a double standard. The babies come home with the girl. And I was like, well, I'm not having no baby. I just want to go out. Yeah, that's how it starts. The baby come home with the girl. And that was the conversation. And when my mother's concerned, the conversation would be nothing to me. She'd be on the phone talking to other people. My daughters know not to come in here pregnant. No, we don't really know that. You never said that. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So those were the conversations. Now, granted, much later, years going by, I've learned things. I've talked to, you learn these things from your friends and stuff like that. So I made sure I didn't want that to be my son's story, right? So I talked to him, but he still made his own choice. He still made his own decision. He's not naive. He knew what could be. He knew the consequences to certain actions, but nonetheless, it's still his decision. So, I mean, I can honestly say I've done what I was supposed to do. But at the next point, it's like, it's on that individual. But now at 16, 15, and 14, I control who comes in my house. I can control who I allow you to be friends with. I control that. Certain people can't come by. Certain people can't call. Certain people, and this is not just females. This is guys too, because some people, they just corrupt good character, like bad company corrupts good character. So I wanted him to surround himself with people who are like-minded, people who were like him. You know what I mean? And so I did all of those things, but he still made his own decisions.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's one thing you can't take away. We can't take away somebody's decision. We definitely can't do that. I think that's one of the reasons why my nieces and nephews don't like to come to Auntie Pam's house, because you can't bring everything to my house. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's why I was like, just in the home itself, like just really just rearing our kids, because there are so many young people nowadays that are having babies. You know what I mean? And I say that saying young because I was pregnant 3 times. And does Pam have kids? No, I don't. So what that means that Pam had 3 abortions. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have never had that done. You know what I mean? But because of me I was young, 15, 16, and 22, but I still knew better, at the end of the day. But, those were some of the things that's why I'm talking about just in the home itself. There are some kids raising kids to where it's like the pregnancies, the things that are going on in the house, like some of these pregnancies could have been avoided, if the mother was like, you not letting the boyfriend come over, and at partying, and like you said, partying with the kids, and it's so many different things that go on. And then too, sometimes it's just kind of just like they feel like, okay, well, they older now, so it's all right, she can come over. Yeah, it's cool, you can go up to the room. No, if you gonna come over, you gonna sit right here on this couch where I can see y'all, because I know that it urges you at a certain age, and urges do come. You know what I mean? And it's just like I didn't have this mindset about the tighten up. And what I mean by the tighten up is that as I got older, I was just like, if you gonna live in my house, then you gonna do what I say. If you ain't gonna do what I ask you to do, I can't control you, but you can't stay with me. And so I think, and I offended a lot of people with that. I've offended so many people with that. But at the end of the day, is that like, look, whatever it is that goes on in here, this is where I lay down, and this is where you look at your home as your peace and all of those things. And I think that if in fact we just tighten up when it comes to certain things, even from the Christian standpoint, because there are so many of our young people in church that are having sex, so many. And I'm saying that like yo, for real, on a for real scale. It really is happening and it's going down. And it's just like, I just think that we just need to just tighten up and just really look at it a little more, watch over, like Pastor said, to pray for our children, watch out for our children and all of those things. So I just wanted to just touch on that, because I know sometimes, you know, a lot of times we don't, certain things that we might not look at, you know, because sometimes you hear dudes be like, yo, that's my son. Hey, 15. He getting it. Did you? He 15 and you happy that he having sex?
A lot of
really?
guys are.
Are you looking like, really? No. And that, you know, that's just the mentality. You know, sometimes it's just like, yo, like, that's not a good thing. But the teaching aspect, that's why we have to be taught. Like, and then people be like, you know, I love God. You know, yeah, I got my kids, and who was that who said it? It might have been Kelly or Kiki. It's just the example that it is that's in the home that they see. They see the pattern thereof. Like, mommy and daddy ain't married in this, or the mommy and daddy not married, or the people I see the dude come in, there's different dudes coming in and all of this stuff, and it's cool. They got a dude coming in, I got a dude coming in, and everything is cool and we good, but no. So just touching on those things. Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
you know, it doesn't just like, you know, they just don't get pregnant at home though. So it's it's really not just not having them in the house. And I believe that's the stance that some of these people that I know that have that more of a it's going to happen anyway kind of mentality. I'm not saying that I agree. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that's where I believe it comes from. It's like they're going to do it anyway. And most of the people that I know that are that had this kind of mindset, they were kind of doing whatever they wanted to do in high school. Like, even if their parent was strict, they still was able to do what they wanted to do. Like, I don't know if they necessarily were my friends, but there were girls in high school with me that was dating dudes that was 20 and 21. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, we this is statutory rape still. You get me? But they were picking them up, taking them to school. You get what I'm saying? Like, so there are some people who was still doing whatever they wanted to do, even though they may not have been doing it in their mother or father's house. So I don't know. I don't believe that a teenager should be in a home, yours, his, whatever, and not have a supervision. Like, you shouldn't be in a closed door. You shouldn't be in a private room. If you're going to be somewhere, it's in the living room with the cat, the dog, the family, the grandma, everybody in one room. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're going to come by, because I do believe in getting to understand, getting to meet, getting to know the little kids that your daughter or son may be hanging around. But I don't agree in like closing doors. I don't agree in like privacy. I don't agree in any of that.
You better say it. You better say this tonight. I know that's right. Kelly said, she said that's true. She said, hence why my oldest has his own apartment for 5 years. Sorry, I have certain rules. You better say that thing. Stephanie said, as a child, my mom didn't have to worry about me sneaking out the house and sneaking a boy in our house. I didn't have a mindset of doing that. She said, when I was in middle school at age 11, I befriended a girl at the time, and she told me she was trying
the Depo shot.
She was taking the Depo shots. Wow. And I didn't know what it was until I went home and told my mom. And baby, she told me what it was, and she immediately said, do not hang with her. As an only child, my parents were strict, especially my father. They was watching out and watching over you. Listen, your dog, you said she said middle school at age 11.
My cousin had a baby at 11.
My goodness.
And my other cousin had a baby at 12.
Oh, God.
So it's very, 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 very possible.
Yeah, it is.
And it wasn't looked at as a bad thing.
Why would a parent, like, why would you do
that? It wasn't looked at as a bad thing when it took place, from what I witnessed. And it was an interesting period.
At
11 and 12. And you would have thought one would have learned from the other, but no. 11 and 12, and they're sisters. So if your child is doing X, Y, Z, that's what I mean. Some parents feel as though it's better to, if they're going to do it, at least let them be protected. And that's what I'm saying. Like, why would a parent even think to take their kid to get a depot shot? Like,
Yeah,
why would that even be a thought?
Yeah,
Right?
That's
why would that be a
something.
thought?
Yeah, why would that
Obviously,
be a
this little
thought?
girl,
Yeah.
they probably couldn't stop her from doing what she was doing, or they found
Jesus.
out she was doing it after she was doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like at a point,
Jesus.
it's like, yeah, you're protecting her from having a child. However, you're not
Come on.
protecting her from all the other things.
You're not protecting her
11-year-old
at
is
all.
not prepared to deal with certain things. They're definitely not,
Still
you know.
peeing
So
in the bed at 11.
so it was interesting. I didn't even and you think about it, you know, she wasn't in the Guinness Book of World Records, so that must have meant that it was somebody younger.
Jesus. Yeah, so you know what? And for you to say this, I'm actually reading a book about the miracles of Azusa Street, and one of the young ladies, she was married at the age of 14. She had a planned marriage. She was into a 19-year-old. And so it's just like, you know, by no means I don't condone this. This is the 11 depot shot. That just threw me a little bit. At the same time, too, you know, I think back then that they were so young, like 12 and 13, 14, getting married. And
Yeah, but they were having babies
and
at
they were
that age,
having
yeah.
babies.
And running families at that age.
babies.
I mean, look at
Jesus.
Priscilla Presley was 14 when she was with Elvis Presley. I mean, it doesn't get talked about much because he was rich
And
and he
how
was
old
famous.
was he?
He was grown. He was well over. He had to be over 20. But I know she was 14.
He wasn't a well over no 20.
Yes, he was already famous when they got together.
Mm.
But she was 14. I know that for certain.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. So when everybody is talking about, I mean, and it came to light again when everybody was talking about, you know, these trials with the Epstein and Cosby and all
Right.
these stuff. So it came out again. And you know, R. Kelly, you know, and
JB, she was 14.
yeah, she was 14.
No,
She was 14 years old.
I wasn't expecting you. I'm thinking you about to say like you know.
Elvis Presley was 25. So Elvis was 25 and she was 14 when they got married. Married, meaning they were probably already together. And in order to get married and not be 17, your parents have to give consent.
And he was rich already though, right?
Yeah, he was already famous.
Give away.
He was already famous. And you know, and it's not just that. I mean, I think granted, what's her name? Celine Dion. I think when she started dating her,
The old guy. the
yeah,
older
I think
man.
she was 12.
I'm done. Was that a planned marriage?
No,
She was 12.
I
How
don't.
old was he?
He's a lot
Good.
older.
Yes.
than her.
He gray all the way.
She was 12.
Mm,
Yep.
I'm done. JB, I'm okay. I'm done. That took me all the way out. Like I didn't know it was. Yeah. Dog.
Yeah. See. Yep. That was
Mhm.
him and her back then.
He looks old.
He was already old.
You said
But look,
he was already old.
See?
Already.
Celine Dion, young boyfriend. Look,
Jesus.
he was already bald. He was already gray.
Oh my goodness, JB.
So yeah, when they got married, I don't remember how the age difference was, but I know for certain when they started to
He
hang
looked
out,
like her
supposedly,
grandpa.
she was 12.
I'm done. All right, y'all. On that note, you already know what we're going to do. On Pam's World, we slide. And we sliding out of here tonight. We getting out of here tonight. Yes, y'all. Thank y'all for weighing in. We had a great time tonight. We really, really did.
Yes, we did.
JB,
yes,
some
yes.
final thoughts, please.
You know, just be a good steward over everything that God has given you, and then understand that He's given you everything, and that makes this
Good.
process so much easier. He's given you everything. He's given you life. He's given you salvation. He's
Jesus.
given you whatever gifts of the Spirit that you possess. He's given you your home. He's given you your car. He's given you your children. He has given you everything. So I say all that to say, be a good steward over what God has given you, and then realize that He's given you everything. So you got to be a good steward
You
over
better
everything.
say that.
So, and that's not just money. It's your time. It's your It's your walk. It's your life. It's your yes. It's your no. It's to be a good steward over everything.
Over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard it. Over everything. That means your body. You got to watch what you eat. Right?
Yep.
You said that earlier.
You got to watch what you eat. You got to
eat.
watch how, think about the Bible talks a lot about taking care of your temple.
Yes.
Honoring him with our bodies.
Saw that today.
How many of us are honoring him with our bodies? Not a lot. And if you think about the sex and all the other things that we've done to the body, we haven't been honoring him with our bodies.
Come on. Thank God for making us whole, right?
Yes, God. Thank you,
Jesus. Come on. You better say that. Thank you, God. Should be in pieces. My legs should be in North Carolina. Torso should be somewhere else. Everything. You just pulled apart. But thank God for Jesus. Thank God for Jesus. And like JB said, to be a great steward. And she said something a little earlier about being a great steward. She said that nothing that we have, when we say my this, my that, there is no my. I thank God for my. I thank God for X, Y, and Z. I thank God for being able to do this and to do that. And she said, I thank God for my house. I thank God for my car, because nothing that we have is ours. So when you think about, come on, thank you, Holy Spirit. When you think about a loaner car, you try to keep it in the best condition. Try to keep it low on miles, JB, right?
Yes, God.
So that, because you know that you have to what? You're going to have to turn it in. So listen, same thing with God. We're going to have to give an account. We're going to have to come back. The one who has given us life, we're going to have to stand before him one day when it's all said and done. And he's going to say, all right, what is he going to say? Well done?
My good and faithful son.
Come on, JB.
Or is he going to call you something else?
Or is he going to say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I know you not. So what we going to do with the return, right?
That's right.
All right, y'all. With that,
amen.
Nope, we out of here. We love y'all. Pam's World tonight. I give glory and honor to the Holy Spirit for that. Because truly, like JB said, that was not, I don't think like that. So I know that that's God. And to him and him alone be all the glory, the honor, and praise, because he alone deserves it.
Yes,
all right,
God.
y'all. We out of here. Love y'all.
Yes,
Good night.
yes.
The moment I saw you, I fell in love. Deep in my mind, you are always thought of. You take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love, that ghetto love, that ghetto love, that ghetto love. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. You are the sunshine that brightens my life. The wind that I feel gets my face every night. Can't imagine my life without you by my side. My heart's placed in your hands, so keep me alive. You take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love, that ghetto love. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. Take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love, ghetto love, ghetto love. Take me away from the cares of this world. No